Welcome to the Fearfic Podcast. Fearfic is the term for short horror fiction, mostly posted on the web. It includes any and all related subgenres. Join three assholes talking basement goo Slimebeast, inebriated interstellar traveler Abysmii, and irritable ghostly man-horde Dead Palette, as they read all stories horror and internet-related, paragraph by paragraph, and bullshit while they do it. From adolescent revenge fantasies to subtle postmodern narratives about real-life events and everything in between, they read it and critique. You better believe it. Kick it to the cold open, white boy.
So, as I mentioned in a previous episode, Entitled Parents is a subreddit where people write about their run-ins with entitled parents. Get some good revenge porn, get some good misery porn, you get like a mix of different things. People talking about just terrible mothers. Always the mother, by the way. Terrible mothers and their awful little bratty kid. And, how everything goes wrong, but then at the end, usually it goes right, and you could have a nice cathartic experience. So I was wondering if you guys would be down with breaking a little bit with the idea of fearfic and, reading maybe some stories about just frightful parents. Scary parents. Real-life monsters.
I don't know. I don't like the idea of having variety in my horror fiction.
All right, never mind.
This scares me as a middle-aged white man.
All right, let me just...
Well, that's the question. Is this fiction?
Oh, yeah. You damn right it's fiction. I mean, maybe we should let our viewers decide in the comments below.
Okay, so bearing that in mind, do people believe this stuff?
Yes.
Does the subreddit have specific rules saying has to be true story or what have you?
Their rules are no complaining.
I like that.
Which every story is complaining. No pointless arguing. Don't be an asshole. Do not defend the parents. No trolling, and shit posts belong in this other subreddit. So there is no rule about taking it for real, I think, but...
So...
Yeah.
Man, do not like the stories posted, please leave. Do not argue over what is entitlement and what is not. It's up to the poster to decide what they consider entitlement. Don't be an asshole, no personal attacks. Okay, fine. Keep the bigotry and political BS to a minimum. Some bigotry is okay, I guess. Spamming will earn an immediate ban, that's fine. Do not defend the entitled parents. This is a weird subreddit that you found.
And
this is a fantasy thing. This is like OC play along.
I am the first person.
Yeah.
I'm the first person to ever find this. First person to put it on any kind of podcast or YouTube or anything like that. We are the first. We're breaking new ground. There certainly aren't 5 million videos of this out there. So yeah.
Isn't that just the laziest thing you can do, is just read stuff from Reddit? Okay, let's
Pretty
do
much.
that now.
Let's read stuff from Reddit and talk about it.
That's right.
But let's be dicks about it.
Exactly. If you're a dick, then you must acquit. I don't know.
All right. So I really do know nothing about this, and I am anxious to get into these. You've brought up 5 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Same.
We've got actually the top 5, if you can believe it. By what metric? Shut up.
Okay, let's read this by Killer Instinct 277.
All right.
It's only worth $5. Okay, so these are a lot shorter than what we're used to. So maybe we should just grab a bunch and then pass it off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
okay.
you may notice some themes within these stories. I'm not sure, but we'll find out.
Okay. So this story happened when I was about 16. I was working in a small music school at the time. One of those hole in the walls in thought. No period.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess this isn't supposed to be perfect fiction, so
yeah.
I guess I don't have a problem with that.
It's not supposed to be creative work. It's supposed to be true. So,
Yeah, it's supposed to be impulsive, I guess. Kind of like little miniature rants, I suppose.
Right. Yeah.
Like this I just got off of work and this is what happened. Fuck this entitled parent type of thing.
Exactly.
Okay.
It was a weekday.
Nope.
Week spelled W-E-A-K.
I thought that DP said he was going to take a couple, or no?
Oh, did you?
I'll take a couple, and I'll also read more of these.
Sorry, go for it.
Take a couple of... It was a weekday, as Abysmii was pointing out. The incorrect week, as in physically weak. or mentally weak, or weak sentence structure.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot of customers other than the regulars. I was manning the cash register when this lady, who from now on I'll call EP, walks in with her child, Slimebeast.
No!
Yeah, wow.
I think that's
why you brought us to this subreddit.
I think that stands for spoiled brat, but I mean, what's the difference?
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
I thought EP stands for like records. We're in a music store, right?
Yeah.
Extended play, yeah.
Right. Elephant Penis.
I'll call him color elephant penis. Walks in with her child, Slimebeast, not older than 6. Excuse me, says entitled parent. On that voice we all know too well.
So the voice is sort of like, excuse me, like that.
Like Vicky Guerrero, yeah. Okay.
Excuse me, pardon me, over here.
One principle, I wouldn't give this 4,795 upvotes based on the grammar alone.
Either.
Oof.
Me, how may I help you today?
No. How my?
Oh, wow, okay. How may I help you today? EP, my son wants to buy a guitar. Me, okay, not then, but then. We have a few that will fit his size. Small kids need a half-size guitar to reach the end of the neck. That's correct. No, he want a guitar, not a toy. Says entitled parent, lighting a cigarette as she's talking.
He Want a Guitar sounds like the perfect title for like an indie folk album.
Yeah.
I don't know what the band name would be.
He want guitar.
Yeah.
He no want a toy.
He want a guitar. Want to be a big boy.
But man give half-size guitar to child. Then child cry.
Abysmii come in and sue. Everybody die.
Abysmii kick in toward lawsuit.
Like I said, he wouldn't be able to reach the frets. Also, you cannot smoke in here. Whatever. So I go
Whatever's in all caps.
Yeah,
just
of course.
makes it fun.
Whatever. Snap, snap. So I go to grab a half-size simple guitar, and the kid shouts, "No, I want that one!" and point at a guitar in our display case, a beautiful red electric, worth about 45,000 shekels, $12,000 approximately. Custom made by our shop owner, God rest his soul.
Red electric what?
Red electric.
Gibson Firebird? Les Paul? What?
Well, it was custom made by the shop owner, so it's a custom Bernie Shankman.
Is it a Flying V? Is it the BC Rich? Like, you work in a fucking guitar store. Give one, just one word as to what this guitar maybe looks like, because that will help us. Well, never mind.
I'm pretty sure Abysmii made up a few of those names of guitars.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, so 45,000 shekels. I thought they were making like a shit post thing there for a second.
No.
But is this supposed to be in Israel?
It's supposed to be in Israel, yeah.
I actually want to look this
whatever.
up now. Oh wow! Actually, yeah, 45,000 Israeli new shekels is $12,400, but that's close enough. Interesting.
Okay.
That might explain the grammar.
Yeah, that
What
might.
are you trying to say, Abysmii? What are you trying to
That
say about
Jews-
Jewish people?
These
English
saying Jews have
is-
bad grammar?
God damn it!
Okay, so this is DP, I think?
Mm-hmm.
Entitled parent. He says he wants that one. Ma'am, that one's not for beginners. Also, it's 45 grand. Entitled parent. Don't lie to me. It's probably just $5, and I'll throw in some free lessons for being rude.
Oh, no one is this dumb.
Guys, this
No one's
entitled
dumb.
parent came in and wanted an electric guitar for 5 shekels. Come on. It's totally
Not-
real, sure.
Okay, so I agree with you that this scenario is completely unrealistic.
Mm-hmm.
Is it possible that and just giving the story all the benefit of the doubt, is it possible that the social mores are very different in Israel?
Do
I
we
would
want to
say-
touch that in the realm of shopkeepers and haggling?
No, not in terms of like $5, but I mean in terms of someone like trying to manipulate the, store clerk.
Sure, I can buy that. And honestly, I can see a parent coming in and saying, I want a guitar. It's for my child, so I want it cheaper than usual. And, I want to get some lessons as well.
Mhm.
This feels like a gross exaggeration of how unknowledgeable parents treat music store employees, which I have seen. But, like, no parent walks in and just assumes that display case guitars are cheap.
And
Like, no one's that's fucking dumb.
Abysmii knows because he constantly goes into local music shops with a baby doll in a one of those little papoose things on his chest. Goes around with a drink in his hand, demanding things for his baby, knocking stuff over.
Okay.
Abysmii regularly goes to the local music shop with a bag full of 45,000 shekels.
A couple of those allegations are true. I'm not going to say which ones.
Oh.
I got all these shekels from work with my bosses.
All right. So, Abysmii, I believe?
Yeah. I stare at her. I stare at her. No guitar, no matter how crappy or cheap, costs $5. At this point, I just don't care anymore, so I say, ma'am, either buy something or get out.
Ooh.
She walks over, takes out the 45 grand guitar, and hands it to her son, who almost immediately starts banging it on the floor, of course. The thing breaks.
All right, how much do we
How would
believe?
he... Bullshit. Bullshit. That's under lock and key. Fuck you, author. I shouldn't say that. I'm sorry. Fuck you, story.
Well, here's the thing: is you're thinking of an American music shop, aren't you? That's what you're picturing in your head.
I'm sorry. Putting expensive stuff under lock and key is not exclusive to American merchandise establishments. It really isn't.
In Canada, they just leave it all out on a blanket. It's true.
Well, okay, Canada's a made-up country, number one, so we can't really bring that into this conversation.
Like, you're talking about a country where people don't lock their doors at night. That's not a real thing.
Gross.
In Israel?
No, Canada.
Oh, in Canada.
Oh man.
Yeah, no, I don't care. I don't care what country you're from. If you have any type of fucking shop that has like infrastructure and a door and expensive items, custom made shit like that costs over $10,000 US, you're gonna keep under lock and key. That's
For sure.
just not a thing.
I'm just trying to be the devil's advocate and say,
Fair enough. Fair
is
enough.
there,
I don't
is
mind
there
that.
possibility?
Maybe
This story's
this
bullshit.
display case that wasn't near the other display case and was easily slid open, maybe it's like in the middle of the room. It's like just a big tribute to the former owner who passed away, the last guitar he ever made. You know, you never know.
Well, again, that's why
Well,
this feels like a gross exaggeration, because there will be guitars at guitar stores that may cost $1,500 that are just sitting out for anyone to pick up and like go over and say, hey, can I get a pick? Can I get a cable and an amp? I want to try this out. That's a very normal thing. And I can see an unknowledgeable parent coming in and their kid just like going over and looking at the shiniest one and start, bashing it around. I can see that. But not something that's in a display case that you've just said costs $12,000. That this is such an this is hyperbole at this point.
Let's polish this off. Let's get rid
Yeah.
of this.
All right. I point to a "You break, you buy" sign on the wall.
Ha!
That will be 45,000 shekels, please. Cash or credit? Oh, he's quick with those lines. Entitled parent grabs her child and runs out the fucking door. Of course, I called the cops and the insurance company. She paid in credit. So we
What?
throw revenge.
Insurance for your custom item?
Yeah. Maybe it's entitled parent insurance.
This is frustrating.
Well, if you think that's frustrating, let's continue on.
This is really frustrating me just because oh my god.
So basically what we've learned is that entitled parents are fucking idiots who think that expensive things are cheap, but in the end you can get the best of them because you're an epic pro gamer. I don't know.
I don't know.
I have some comments, but I want to save them because you say that these two stories are similar. So I want to
Right.
Yeah.
These
read this one
first two kind of give you an idea of the tropes in the best way possible by having two back-to-back stories that will highlight them for you. So yeah.
Are you
Okay,
sure you
this-
didn't pick these just to piss me off? Because the first one deals with instruments and music, and the second one deals with litigation.
I wouldn't say it's mutually exclusive. I mean, they could both be picked to piss you off and highlight cliches and tropes.
Fair enough.
This one has 9,000 upvotes and is entitled Mom Ends Up in Court.
By Cable Fox.
Cable Fox.
Let me preface this by saying this happened a very long time ago in a galaxy far, far, and while I could come to a reasonable approximation of the dialogue that surrounded it, I won't bother. I don't recall everything that was said, just some of the circumstances. That's reasonable.
Fair enough.
Darth Vader.
First off,
Darth Vader, by the way, world's worst entitled parent.
Luke, I am your daddy. It could have been father. I don't remember exactly, but I think it was daddy.
This lightsaber only costs $5. Give it to my son.
Go ahead, pick up your Jedi weapon. Also, cash or credit.
Well, actually, guys, it would just be not dollars or cash. It would only be credits. Learn Star Wars lore.
Well,
guys.
okay, hold on. Republic credits? The Republic isn't a thing anymore. It's just the Empire, so...
Get
Imperial
your
credits.
Empire, your Empire
Imperial
Fun
credits.
Box. Yeah.
Imperial credits? Okay, yeah.
Empire Fun Box. They have a picture of Palpatine on them, you know?
The Emperor Palpatine.
Yeah.
First off,
National Mint.
I am a model railroader, specifically one model in 0 scale.
I model in
0 scale?
Or O scale?
I model in O scale. For reference, that means that the average locomotive is about 3 to 4 inches tall and top and up to a foot long, depending on type that is.
What is this, a locomotive for ants?
Okay, so
Okay.
yeah.
So this
All
man
right.
makes model trains.
Cool. That's cool. One summer, I was taking part in a model railroad fair at our local mall, where I was displaying some of my models. Being that I'm from the US, the fact that I modeled the British Isles, GWR for you Brit readers,
Ugh.
great.
Fucking Brits.
Something railway. That meant that my display really stood out. Now, as there's always kids at these types of shows, period, I had taken to putting a plexiglass side around my layout to prevent children from reaching in and touching things, or damaging various parts of the structures and models that went with the railroad. All believable. I'm on board with that.
I would
Yeah.
I would think that it's very rude to not allow children to play Godzilla. This is the only chance they'll get. But
But
whatever.
if there's no Godzilla toy, then how are they supposed to play Godzilla?
They are Godzilla. They just
No,
go...
not. They're small children. Fuck them.
Fine. Entitled Godzillas. While I was watching one locomotive I had just received leave the staging area, so it's one he just received, one he just bought, I guess. It's a small 3-track system that lets me funnel trains into the layout and then out as needed. I remembered this one lady making comments about the cute little trains. Getting that train running at a nice but slow pace, I approached her and smiled, asking if there's any questions she had. I wonder who this lady will turn out to be.
Okay.
Certainly not an EP, not an elephant penis.
No.
Well, the fact that they're not like labeling this like EP and SB is also helping the story quite significantly.
Right.
Because the story is that story came to the table like presupposing that you agree with the person.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? If
Right.
that makes any sense.
The
And that's
shithead said.
Yeah. Okay. It sounds. It's like BDSM. Like, oh, I'm a sub. I'm a dom. I'm an entitled parent. Like, it's this weird role playing thing. I don't get it.
Yeah.
The lady never missed a beat, pointing to the train I had just started, and told me that her son liked trains and turtles, and I would sell her one for him, and I should sell her one for him. Now, truth be known, this wasn't an uncommon thing to have happen. Commerce?
Yeah.
People exchanging things for money?
Now, purchasing things, not a foreign concept to me.
I'm from the U.S., and this happens all the time. In fact, many people consider our country a capitalist society, which is kind of built on this concept.
Weird. Not for long, though.
Freaks.
Not with socialist trumping off what? People, usually other modelers, may ask if some units are up for sale. Yeah, sometimes they are, but typically not. I explained to her that the locomotive wasn't for sale, and that even if it was, she wouldn't have liked the price anyway, noting that the engine she was pointing at had to cost me close to $1,000.
People wasting money on models. What a fucking trash hobby.
Or about 40,000 shekels.
Could you imagine spending money on miniatures? What the fuck?
Again,
you think that's bad? I'm looking over to my left in my synth collection. I'm looking like, oh, that's like a $1,500 right there.
I mean, but again, I'm hoping that we get to the part that you're talking about, Slimebeast, where this is supposed to be unrealistic, because so far...
Oh, yeah.
So far, this is utterly believable.
Maybe I've thrown you a curve. Maybe I wanted to see what your reaction would be.
You don't play baseball anymore.
All right.
Not since the beef incident.
Yeah, not since my favorite team, the beef, the Detroit Beef.
The Detroit Beefers
lost the baseball or whatever the hell the big event is.
They lost the only one in the entire game, and everyone had to go home. It was very sad.
Can't the lady Target?
The lady was having none of it and offered me $10 for it since it was obviously a toy. Okay, there it is. I ignored her and went back to getting the next train set up on the staging track, waiting for that one to return. As I do this, I hear an odd sound and look up just in time to see the lady picking the locomotive up off the track and moving to hand it to her kid. I called out for her to stop, which may have been a mistake, as she promptly dropped it on the ground. The engine, though somewhat robust and heavy, was made of rather soft brass. When it hit the ground, there was a sickening crunch. I knew from the sound that the engine was done for, broken beyond repair.
Bum, bum, bum. Thomas is dead.
Good.
Well, everyone, our friend Abysmii has just murdered Thomas in cold blood.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's shitting on the corpse. The lady just looked down at it, shrugged, and kicked it back under the table before starting to walk off. Thankfully, security quickly caught up with her and detained her while the police were called. All the while, she kept saying, "It's just a toy. Men don't play with toys," while ignoring the fact she was surrounded by dozens of train layouts with just as many grown men showing off their work. So what do we think? Do we think this is real?
No.
Do we think this takes place in Israel?
Security being called, sure. The police, no.
Plus, we've got that thing. I'm sure this is only worth $10. It's double the $5 offer. So.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm on the border about this one, simply because people can be this dumb and shitty. Like, it is possible, but it is highly improbable.
Yeah. Honestly, it's the police being called that I don't trust. Like, I don't think that's the thing.
Well, you can call the police for anything.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean they're gonna fucking show up, especially not within the hour of that it happens.
DP, now you say that you're on the border. Is your plan to just lay there and get so incredibly fat that you block everybody out, or what?
No, I'm going to take the train over and illegally cross into Mexico.
No.
Police arrested her on the destruction of private property charges, while the mall itself barred her from ever setting foot on their property again.
What?
Guys,
she
picked up a train and dropped it. She's banned for life.
There you go. That's where it crosses the line.
Mm-hmm.
This is now not real. There you go. Later, with her information on hand from the police report, I filed a case against her for the replacement of the locomotive.
Hey Abysmii, our resident lawyer. Do you file police charges to get a replacement for an item?
You file a small claims case for something under $10,000 in California, but no, you wouldn't do this.
It was over $10,000. It was an $80,000 locomotive. It was a 3 million shekel locomotive.
The brass was actually gold and made from the bones of a saint.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is like, no.
The Saint with the Golden Bones, by the way, is my favorite Hardy Boys book. You won't believe it, but she had the gall.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Oh, yeah. She had the gall to try to convince the judge that it was just a toy, and the receipts I had for purchase of the locomotive weren't real, saying that she had seen the exact same locomotive at Walmart herself. Well, the case ended up in my favor, with her having to pay me replacement costs, as well as some punitive damages. The judge ended the case with the simple warning that just because you want something doesn't give you the right to simply take it. From the criminal side of things, I think the lady ended up with 40 or so hours of community service and a substantial fine as well. So
That's not criminal law. That's a tort. God damn it.
I'll just finish it off. Here's hoping she learned her lesson. Now, this does say something about Britain at the beginning, so maybe the laws there are different.
No, both of our systems of law are based off of English common law.
No, everyone has to follow American law.
Except for Louisiana, because they're French and fucking weird.
Oh, yeah. Well.
No.
Yeah, no.
Didn't happen.
Oh, so we think the first two didn't happen, but maybe you're picking up on some themes, though.
Yeah.
My child wants that thing. You can't have it. Yes, we can. I'm sure it's nothing. I'm sure it's not worth anything. Then, oh no, it's broken. I run away, but the cops catch me. The cops get him. Oh no.
Here's what I was like withholding saying, because I wanted to be sure about this. But like, we live in a society.
True.
So people are very willing to believe something that emotionally outrages them.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And this is a very pure form, uncut, of recreational outrage.
Recreational outrage.
And that's something that did not happen.
I think we found the name of the band for that album we mentioned earlier.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this is. It's people deciding to get mad at children that don't exist, which I guess is better than
that.
I guess is better than getting mad at children that do exist.
It depends what the kids do, I guess.
Like, I'm not a fan of small children. I hate when they're on planes. I hate when they're
just in general
making loud noises. That's just me. I don't want kids. I really don't like parents who can't control their fucking kids. That's me and my biases. But even I would not want to go to a subreddit that just feeds into, oh yeah, I really fucking hate kids. Like, that's weird.
But I mean, it's more akin to, oh yeah, I really hate mothers.
I mean, it's just people who work in retail that hate the people that come in, because that I understand. Working in retail sucks.
Well, there's like a bunch of subreddits for that kind of thing, and aren't they usually just people venting in a very like informal way?
Isn't all of Reddit just either venting or pictures of cats?
Venting, pictures of cats, and memes from 7 years ago.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, let's move on.
Let's move on.
So these are where we're supposed to get into the horror, right?
Well, it's sort of his ashcan horror. It's like real world horror. You're not going to find people diced up. You're not going to find monsters. You're not going to have people, doing all sorts of crazy boogity-boo shit. But there are going to be things that are kind of maybe a bit dangerous, kind of a bit, like real life situations that could go horribly wrong and be on the news because of some grisly thing that happened. So yeah.
Okay. So this one with 12,300 upvotes by Nessie2212. Entitled mother almost kills her child because she wanted him to ride a ride he wasn't allowed to, tries to press assault charges against me.
And now she wished she hadn't. Yeah.
By the way, Nessie2212 is my favorite Rush song.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're off to a good start then.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be upset if people don't get that joke. So I've been looking for a bit and decided to share my EP story. This is going to be a long one. When I was 16, I worked at the amusement park in my city. It wasn't a big one, but it wasn't small either. Most of our rides were aimed towards elementary school-age children, though we had a few for the older kids as well. Anyways, I was a rides operator.
Carney, yeah.
And that day, it says ride operator on the badge. And that day, I was assigned to a ride designed for older kids. We had to measure the kids. No one clipped that out of context, and they couldn't go on if they were under the height requirements, no matter what, even if they had a parent with them, because it was a ride that only a bar that went across your stomach, so someone too small could easily fall off. Sorry, was that written poorly, or am I an idiot?
You missed that only had a bar. So
that only had a bar. Okay.
Yeah. If it only has one bar, DP's not interested.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
Entitled mother, who we'll call EM, and her entitled brat, EB, are in line, and I can already tell the kid is going to be too short to ride without even having to measure him. He's pretty far back, so I know it's going to be 1 or 2 runs before he makes it on. So after I'm done loading, I tell EM, or entitled mother, that her kid is too short for the ride and that they should go try the smaller version of it on the other side of the park. That was a long sentence. She looks at me with the dirtiest stare ever and just says, "We're going to wait here."
So, right away, what do we think about the idea of there being a smaller version of the ride across the park?
I think that's ill-defined, and depending on what, they don't describe what the ride is.
Right.
So that's very possible.
It's the Jane the Killer Mechanical Bull.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if it's... I don't buy it.
Yeah, I'm just picking at little things here and there. It's not necessarily a make or break thing. I just kind of thought, so what do we think of that?
This one is more unbelievable straight up from the beginning because of we're using terminology like rides operator and stuff like that. But then when it comes to describing what the ride actually is, we haven't gotten that yet.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I will say though that this would be kind of a promising read if we were reading it as a horror story. I mean,
and if the kid actually dies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I have to run my ride because I need to meet certain times, so I don't argue. Time goes by, and she's finally at the start of the line. I measure her kid, and of course he's like 6 inches shorter than the height requirements. All right.
Well, that's interesting that you'd be able to tell from him back in the line that he is just 6 inches shorter. Like, if it was 6 inches, it's like... You're talking about the size of a child. I don't know that you would be able to tell from that far back.
Maybe the height requirement for the ride is 6 inches, so when he saw a parent that looked like she was standing alone, he said, "I'm sorry, you can't bring your microscopic child on." I don't know.
I definitely make sure that any guys I'm with know that I require 6 inches as well.
Minimum.
Maximum.
Okay, me. I'm sorry, ma'am, but your child is too short to ride this ride. I would recommend...
DP has a requirement: 6 inch minimum for guys, 6 inch maximum for girls.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
That is not the case at all. I am perfectly fine with women having more than 6 inches. I mean, I don't know how much I'm going to be able to get in, but I would recommend going over to the smaller version near the entrance of the park, though. EM, no, it's fine. I'm with him. I'll hold him. She tries to shove me out of the way, but I'm standing my ground.
Guns go off immediately.
So yeah, she tries to shove the person out of the way.
I will stand my ground.
To this ride.
Don't ruin this for me. Don't ruin this for my son. But yeah.
Me, I'm really sorry, ma'am, but we don't allow people under the height limit to ride this ride. The safeties we have on it just won't hold someone too small, and your kid could fall off. Okay, so a woman trying to, shove her way in there?
Yeah, I don't buy this.
I could see this if they said they worked at literal Disney World. Then I could be like, okay, maybe there's some really super stressed parents who have been on a long flight there. The kid wants to ride the Dumbo ride. The kid's crying, and they're like, let me on the fucking ride. I will fucking kill you. I could see that, maybe. But it's like a little local small park, you know? I
keep wanting to be charitable, but it's like, man, I've seen some white trash, you know? I've seen some white trash.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doubting it. I'm doubting it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just that you've sowed the seeds of doubt or that there's other things in the story that are making me doubt the credibility, but I doubt it.
Well, keep in mind, and for anybody, who is listening to this, I did say that the first 2 stories had shades of cliches and tropes shared between them, but I didn't give any, preconceived notions about the rest of these. So
Sure.
Yeah. All right. So is this Abysmii?
Yes. Me, I'm... Oh, no. She then asks to speak to my manager. I get asked that quite a lot by entitled parents, so I give them a call and tell her to wait on the side while I load my ride. She gets very offended, saying that she shouldn't have to wait longer for her kid to ride this ride because I couldn't do my job. And at this point, I just kind of ignore her and move on. Ride runs, my team lead gets there and talks with her. He tells her that he's really sorry, but that I'm right. Her child can't ride this ride. Now, at this point, entitled brat is throwing a tantrum, and I mean he's rolling on the concrete like a piece of bacon in a frying pan.
I do like that phrase.
Yeah,
His
that's a
flesh
good
was
image.
sizzling and boiling.
Yes, he looked delicious. What?
I put him on a roll. I'm trying my hardest not to laugh at this point.
Anyways, my lead apologizes, offers her a skip-the-line ticket for the ride he's allowed to go on at the entrance, and leaves. EM is trying to calm down EB, and starts talking to him. He gets up, all smiling and happy and angry, and stands next to the gates, watching me. Now, I'm not thinking too much of this at this point, so I start loading my ride again, which has a significantly less busy line, we're establishing that, and I have a couple of empty seats on it. If you have empty seats, there's no line. Agree? Why would people be waiting in line if you have empty seats on it?
If you have too few people, you can load up the train or whatever and just have empty seats because there's just not enough. Yeah, that is kind of weird how it's phrased. I will agree.
I'm sorry, people. Can you wait there as I run this ride with some empty seats on it?
Yeah.
As I'm doing my security checks and getting ready to run it, entitled mother taps me on the shoulder and thanks me for my help, which I found extremely odd. Why, I turn around to tell her that it's really no problem, and she starts apologizing and telling me that she shouldn't have acted the way she did, and blah, blah, blah. I'm completely stunned, not really sure how to react, but I tell her it's no problem and to enjoy the rest of her day.
So, if she's trying to strong-arm the guy and, our rides operator and get by them, no reality exists where she gets a skip to the front of the line ticket.
Yeah.
Right. Plus, do we believe that a small local fair has skipped to the front of the line tickets?
Yeah, no.
Maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
But there's no way she's getting one for trying to push aside this guy, our rides operator,
right.
Whoever they are. This isn't happening. This isn't real.
Do you want to pet the diseased goat first? Get the skip the line pass. Okay.
No. I don't think the lines would. You know what? I'm convinced now. The lines wouldn't be long enough for you to need to skip the line thing.
No.
The wait would be 3 minutes. You don't need to skip the line for that.
All right.
Oh my God, this is so not real.
You sound sad. All right. So who is this now? DP?
It's me.
Okay.
I look back at my ride and realize that EB isn't standing next to the fence anymore. I'm starting to get weird vibes. I don't like that it's EB and then SB. They need to pick an etymology here.
Right.
They need to pick a term here.
They could just write the kid.
Yeah, or make up a name. Who cares?
The child, who should be treated like a person.
Little Childington, Jake. Child.
I'm standing. I'm starting to get weird vibes. I look around for him, and he's not anywhere to be seen. I look at entitled mother again, who has her phone out with her camera pointing at the ride, and that's when I knew. I take my keys out of the ride and start walking towards it. It's kind of a swing type of thing, so I couldn't see the back from where I was standing. But I knew damn well EB had snuck on. EM starts panicking, asking me what I'm doing and why I'm not running the ride. I completely ignore her and walk to the back of the ride, and lo and behold, EB is sitting there and almost shits himself when he sees me walking towards him.
All right, so the mother got the kid up, told him to sneak onto the ride, distracted the ride operator by apologizing to him as the kid snuck on. Kid hoisted himself up into the ride, put his bar down,
Okay. He didn't have the bar properly locked at all and would have flown right out as soon as I started the ride. Now, I'm mad, and I mean mad. I mean, I could have gone to jail for manslaughter right there, right here and there. Should be then and there. I just look at him and very sternly tell him to get off my ride. He tells me he can't and he needs help, which is fair. I
now,
mean, I don't
now
even
I'm
know how
picturing
he
Harrison Ford. Get off my ride.
Get off my ride. I mean, I don't even know how he managed to get on it in the first place, but I grab him and put him down, and he starts sprinting towards his mom, crying. As he's running, he trips and falls down on his face. When he gets up, his nose is all bloody and his knees are skinned, which is when I knew I was completely and utterly fucked.
Uh-huh. Quite the coincidence. EM, entitled mother, starts screaming like a banshee at the sight. As I'm running towards the kid to make sure he's not dead, running toward
Why
him,
would he
sprinting.
be dead?
You're sprinting toward the kid who just left you.
Are we saying, like, make sure he's not dead, as in, like, oh man, he, like, ate it? You know, is it supposed to be an idiom, or is it like this person actually thinks that the child might be dead?
I don't know.
The person thinks the child might be dead that just got up with a bloody nose. You know, got up from the ground.
I'm going to be charitable and say that it's like a phrase, like a turn of phrase.
All right, so let me fix that then. As I'm running toward the kid to make sure he's not, like, totally dead or whatever, and to help him up, she runs toward me, slaps me hard across the face, and starts yelling for security. I'm absolutely and completely stunned at this point. I've been stun-locked. The mother was Brigitte.
Man,
she shield bashed him.
I'm really tired of entitled mothers. They have too much CC.
Yeah. Nerf this mother. Some security guards must have heard her screaming at the top of her lungs because they come running, and the exchange goes something like this. Security guard is SG. So we got another fucking thing.
Great.
I'll be the security guard.
Oh, okay.
What's going on here?
This girl assaulted my son. She threw him off the ride onto the pavement.
Excuse me. By the way, I'm me, the person writing.
Yeah, we know.
But yeah, we know, but people listening won't fucking know.
Yeah, they won't know. Now they will.
Did she really want them to believe I just yeeted her child 10 feet away from where he was sitting? Yeet and then dabs, you know.
Nice.
Well, that's what would have happened. Gets put the child into the thing. The bar doesn't work. It speeds up and just yeets the child across the amusement park.
So who's going to be the entitled brat? Do we have Chelsea to do a little kid voice?
We don't.
Damn.
But yeah.
I'd call Paprika in here, but she's making pizza. So oh well.
She's making pizza.
Paprika. It's true. She punched me too.
Do you want us to call the police?
Yes, you need to arrest her. She's mentally unstable.
I'm just dumbfounded at this point. I found out I was female after this entire story. No. My lead gets to the ride and asks what the hell is going on, and I tell him everything that happened in between sobs. There's one thing entitled mother forgot to take into account, though. There were like 15 people on the ride who saw everything. So they tell the police and the security guards and my lead and everyone else what happened. Just everyone in the park. They get like loudspeakers.
Mm-hmm.
And entitled mother quickly realized her error as she just started running with her kid in tow as soon as she saw people asking the other guests questions.
So there's that emerging trope of then the mother found out and started running, but she got caught.
Okay, let's try and start taking out pieces that are unbelievable, and let's try and get to the truth of what could actually happen.
Right.
Is it possible that there is some sort of altercation, and then security guards show up, and then the security guards start asking questions to other guests, and the guests are like, yeah, she's making up some bullshit, and then the mother leaves? That is a thing that can happen.
Right.
I could also see the mother take out the part about, oh, we're so sorry, ma'am, here's your fast pass type of thing. I could see the mother getting more and more angry and then like yelling at the ride operator's face and then like trying to shove through, and the ride operator like putting out their hand going, no, you can't do that. Then she yells, you just hit me. How dare you hit me and my child? Like just getting hysterical and making shit up. I could see that. This whole thing about the kid sneaking on and all that seems a bit
I'll tell you what, you could fix a lot of it by saying, I saw the mother point to the ride and the kid ran to it and started climbing in.
Sure.
When I came over to talk to the mother, she tried to hand me the fast pass she just got, saying that it entitled him to go ahead of everyone. And I said, no, you fucking idiot. That's not for this, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, it could be something like a, misunderstanding, that your manager just gave me a pass to get on, I don't know. I mean, it's still stupid, but...
Yeah. Okay, where are we?
They caught
her pretty quickly, and I pressed charges against her. Needless to say, I handed in my resignation the same day. That
Why?
didn't happen.
No.
Why?
No.
Edited because of some spelling errors.
Needless
that
to
didn't
say,
happen.
Needless to say, I quit my job where everybody backed me up.
Yeah.
Where everyone was on my side, and no.
I mean, you could easily say, needless to say, I told my manager I was never operating a ride again. I did other work in the park.
Sure.
I mean, that would be silly.
Needless to say, I ran for president. Needless to say, I went to Mars. Like, no, that's not needless to say. You need to specify and why.
Now, I'm the president of Mars. It's kind of lonely, but it's mine.
Now listen, we all want to ride the ride, but children fucking hate them.
Yep.
Don't let them on my rides.
They send the Mars rover out to Mars, and they just find Barack Obama on the far side of Mars. Like, Barack Obama, what are you doing here? Oh, don't ruin this for me.
Is everybody else?
You just turn that Mars rover around
Yeah.
and explore the other parts.
That's a nice little drone you got there. But is anybody else picturing him like in a lawn chair in like shorts and a Hawaiian shirt?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You better get off Mons Obama. It's not for you. It's my mountain.
Yeah.
This is my Hawaiian shirt. I grew up with them. We used to wear these all the time in Kenya.
Fucking hell.
My dog sent entitled parents and her kid to jail.
Right. So the next story by Halfway Gone 2, with 12,600 upvotes, is about a dog sending a parent and kid to jail. Just want to clarify.
All right. Sit back and enjoy, because this is long, because apparently I can't do short.
Just like DP.
Average only. I don't do long, I don't do short. I can only do average. Many years ago, I was living in a beautiful, sunny southern state. I had a cute little house that was completely fenced in. 5-foot fence in front, 8-foot fence on the sides, and a 10-foot chain link fence in the back.
10 feet?
10 feet.
Build it 10 feet higher.
It was an entire story? Okay.
Well, her backyard was a basketball court.
Apparently.
Wait a minute.
New York basketball court.
Maybe it's measuring by length. Maybe they had 5 feet of fence on the front, 8 feet of fence on the sides, and then 10 feet of fence on the back.
I lived in a
lengthwise.
cute little house. It was a doll house. It was very small.
I'm a Barbie girl. I am fortunate enough to work from home. My office was my patio unless it was raining. My dog, Sari?
Yeah.
Sorry, Sari?
Sarie? I don't know.
Sarie?
Yeah.
Sarie?
Sarie. That's what we'll go with.
Sarajevo, German Shepherd / Rottweiler mix, kept me company. At a year old, she was a big girl at 120 pounds. She was generally very sweet and kind, but protective. She was well trained, but also had a knack for disappearing to play with her animal friends, so I kept her on a chain too if we were outside.
All right. So far, we have a person who owns a dog. Not too unbelievable.
And a house at the same time in this economy?
Pick one, jerk.
Come on.
Fucking
High
millennials.
school kids.
Oh.
High school kids in the area had the tendency to use the alleyway behind my house to get to and from school. Most would stop and say hi to Sari and give her attention. She loved it. I honestly didn't mind. One day, I noticed that anytime Sari was alone outside, some kids would rattle the back fence, throw things at it, then scream and yell at Sari. The kids would run off before I could see who they were. In case things got worse, I bought some security cameras and brought Sari with me anytime I went inside when the kids would be around.
All right, so unpacking this, do we believe that somebody bought and installed security cameras because kids were rattling the back fence?
No, I don't.
If it became so much of a problem, then sure. But then the story would start there. Like the story would be about that. Like these kids are harassing my dog.
Right.
Also, it would be a lot cheaper to what they already said. Bring the dog inside when you're not around.
It would be even cheaper
Yeah.
to just get some car batteries and hook them up to the back fence.
But then you might shock the dog.
Dog shockers.
All right.
But
Dog shockers? What reality show is that? What channel are you watching?
Come on to Animal Planet.
Up next on
Dog
Animal
shockers.
Planet, Logan Paul hosts Dog Shockers.
Oh.
That's
I
a
lo-
lovely
the-
dog you have there, ma'am. Mind if I shock it? Yeah.
The show hasn't been the same ever since Logan Paul took over for Michael Vick. But I will
Jesus.
say that high school kids in the area had a tendency to use the alleyway behind our house. Like that's a bizarre word to use, tendency. Like that's just a small thing, but it's like, you mean every Monday through Friday? Twice a day?
They sometimes did it.
But it's like a tendency? Like they have a set schedule. That's such a weird thing to say, a tendency.
It probably, if it's the quickest way to school, it probably would just be the path to school every day. I mean,
I
why
used
would
an
they go
alleyway
extra
to get
ways? I don't know.
Yeah, I used an alleyway to get to school when I was in elementary school. And it was like, that's the way to school.
Yeah. And that's how little Brandon went missing. One day, I had to grab some work in the house and left Sari outside, just for a moment. From inside, I heard the fence rattle, and then Sari yelp in pain. I rushed outside just in time to see a kid try to throw a rock at Sari, along with some other kids. So he tried to throw a rock and some other kids. That's fucking hardcore.
Mm-hmm.
I was pissed. As I rushed over to Sari, I calmly asked them, "Did it ever occur to you to wonder why I keep my dog chained in fenced yard?" Then I unhooked her. All right.
I'm picturing this is Jeff the Killer.
Oh my god, I was gonna wait till the end. But yeah, you fucking nailed it. You fucking nailed it.
You want to know why I keep my dog chained up?
You want to know how I got this dog? I adopted him. That's it. I'm just a good guy.
Yeah, this is why.
Mm.
No.
All right. I unhooked her.
I honestly feel like I need a minute for how not real this is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Do you want to know how Sari got her chain?
So Elias is going to edit this and truncate all the silence out, but people need to understand how much silence there is between my thoughts of just like, no.
All right, so to simulate how much silence there's been, I'll make a sound for as long as the silence was. That's about how long.
Yes, there you go.
That won't get truncated because it's not silence.
Yeah. Sari ran at my back fence and climbed over it. The kids started running down the alleyway with Sari right behind them, barking away. I let her go about half a block, then whistled for her. She came trotting back, happy as could be. I checked her over and gave her a treat. She was fine.
Might want to check. Oh, go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say might want to. Damn it. Might want to check your dog over for injuries before you send it running. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah.
But no, this is German Shepherd / Rottweiler. You know, that dog that police use to hunt down criminals.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So now we're getting to the good part.
Oh, that wasn't the good part?
Oh,
boy,
God.
there's several good parts, but this is the good
Oh,
part. in my
boy.
opinion.
A couple of hours later, one of the kids came back with his mother, EP. Entitled mother, screaming, "You fucking bitch. You had your dog attack my son. He was clearly having a fun time." She didn't say that. He's just a boy. Very true. Kid was at least 16 years old. Bullshit. You scared him. It was just a joke. You had no right to do that. I'm calling the police and having your dog fucking shot. Wouldn't say that. Blah, blah, blah. If I was that child's mother, I would do the same thing. But here's the thing. If your child did that, you're a child, you threw rocks at a dog, you wouldn't tell your parents that you did that.
Right.
Yeah.
Mom,
Yeah, you
Mom,
would
I
admit
just
to
got
that.
chased by a dog. Like, okay. Why'd you feel the need to inform anybody? I don't know. All right.
I literally couldn't get a word in.
And
Then
what does
she
it
starts...
what does it say in the story, Abysmii? As opposed to the podcast where you can't get a word in. Anyway.
Then she starts threatening me, so I called the police. The operator could hear her plain as day, even though entitled parent was at least 40 feet from me. The police showed up in about 5 minutes. Bullshit. 2 cars. I guess they were in the area. Sure. 4 officers. All very nice guys. 2 officers come talk to me. The other 2 talk to EP and her son. Entitled parent never stopped screaming and cussing.
They showed up in about 5 minutes. 2 cars, 4 officers, 8 dogs, 12 cats.
They sick the dogs on the child.
2 officers showed up. 2 talked to me. 2 talked to the other people. Then there were the police dogs. 2 police dogs talked to my dog. Got their story.
You be the good cop. I'll be the butt-sniffing cop. But yeah. All right. I'm actually going to stop interrupting if you want to take any more Abysmii, or I can just go ahead.
No, go for
Okay.
it. Go for it.
I explained what happened and showed the video to the officers. See, she got the video cameras, remember? Show all of Sari's vet and training paperwork. I filed a report, asked to press charges. The officers are petting Sari all the while because she's demanding attention from her new friends.
No.
She has her happy face on. Yes, Sari actually smiles. The 3 of us and Sari
It's a
on
German
leash.
Shepherd Rottweiler. Of course it smiles. Like it's a dog that is in a perpetual state of smiling. It is a smile dog, if you will.
Aw, damn. Is this the origin? You thought this was Jeff the Killer. It's actually Smile Dog. All 3 of us and Sari, on a leash, go outside towards the other group. We're about 10 feet from them when Sari suddenly cuts in front of me to stop me and starts growling. The skin around her face went tight, making it look like a hair-covered skull. The hair on her back raises up. Sari is very scary when she's like that. Okay. The dog
You wouldn't like to see me when I'm Sari.
What do we think about the police letting her bring the dog out to the person complaining about the dog?
No to all this. Just
Scary
no.
Sari.
Scary Sari. If you say that in a mirror 5 times, just a stream of piss comes out right in your face.
A dog starts throwing rocks at you. Entitled mother screaming. See, that bitch raised that dog to attack black people.
What?
Lady Bird is fine.
Lady Bird.
She's not racist.
Fucking racist cunt. No, we're not using. This isn't. No, you're not using the word cunt.
Yeah, you
That's
are.
not-
I've heard
Is
you
this-
say it twice.
Is this taking place in the UK?
Maybe.
That fucking dog needs to be put down. The 2 officers that were with me were African American, so no, that part always annoyed me, so I included it. That didn't happen.
I
Man,
called. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, go for it.
Those.
Uh-oh. Don't oversell it, DP.
My boy was just walking on the way home, and then 2 dogs attacked my boy. One had a noose, and the other one had some bleach.
They were wearing Make America Great Again kerchiefs.
Oh my god.
I called back one of the officers that I had been talking to. He didn't want to come too close. Wait, they were just petting her. Too close as Sari is showing large teeth, so I moved back towards my house. As quietly as I could, I told the officer that either entitled parent or kid were carrying a gun.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Go ahead.
That's why Sari started getting protective. It had happened several times before.
The dog sensed the gun on one of them.
Fucking what?
Well, it's a gun sniffing dog.
But the police have guns.
Yeah.
Well, those are good guns.
The only thing that stops a bad boy with a gun is a good boy with a gun.
Oh. I guess to error.
We
not
need to
err.
arm our dogs.
If you take away the guns, only the dogs love guns. I guess to err on the side of caution or to shut me up, he decided to search entitled parent and kid. Entitled parent had an unregistered gun. Kid had a 6-inch switchblade, not legal in that state.
Those
That
things
state,
didn't happen.
your state.
What?
That
Why
southern
do you
state
not
where
believe?
knives aren't legal? Sure.
Why do you not believe that Randy had a switchblade and his parent had a gun?
Not legal in that state.
You have to have so much anger and outrage in your heart to be gullible enough to fall for this story and think it's real. Do people really think these are real?
Don't know.
Yeah. I mean,
Or
if
is
you look
it-
at the comments, people do. I haven't looked at all the comments, but
Well, that's the thing is...
Some of them do, I don't know about elders.
It says, also, who cares if this post is fake? Report it and move on with your life, thanks, is one of the rules. So they're actively disincentivizing people to use critical thinking.
Who cares if it's fake? Just enjoy it. All right, so not legal in that state. Is this me now?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I kept interrupting Abysmii a million times.
No problem.
I'm just offended at how unbelievably not real this story is.
That's what we do here. We interrupt Abysmii, like just now, like I'm still doing.
Question.
It's really funny. Abysmii, go.
Where the fuck?
Start talking, Abysmii.
Is what happened?
Are you ready to start talking?
Crab penis.
Fucking hate you so much.
All right, I'm gonna mute DP. Whoop.
See, I know you didn't because you made the whoop sound. Where's the security footage from your security cameras? Why are you not bringing that up?
Oh yeah.
Oh my Christ!
Why didn't you say that sooner, Abysmii? That's a good point. Why couldn't you spit that out? So, don't interrupt me. Okay.
I want to see a legal case like this. Just keep interrupting the other person.
That's called contempt, and you will be held in it.
A murderer says what?
Have you ever seen that Key and Peele sketch of the rapper who's admitting to a murder via lyrics in his mixtape?
Yeah.
No, I'll have to look it up.
It's so good.
Anyway, let's polish off this turd.
Mm-hmm.
So, in addition to a charge of animal cruelty, they got nailed for carrying a concealed weapon, being in possession of a firearm while on probation, on top of it all, resisting arrest, and a couple of other charges. Jaywalking, spitting.
So
EP,
they're nailed with carrying a concealed weapon, which may or may not be legal depending on the state and statute and whether you have a concealed carry license.
Well, they did say unregistered gun.
That's the point, though. Is like, why aren't they not nailed for concealed carry? You would definitely be nailed for unregistered gun.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you be Oh my God!
Unregistered gun is my second favorite superhero, by the way. EP never
keep saying gun. That way we get demonetized from our non-demonetized channel.
Gun. EP never stopped screaming the entire time this happened, and while being driven away. I don't think that's how EP or Kid expected to end the day, but I enjoyed it.
Revenge porn.
Even better, I never saw her or her kid again, and the kids, every one of them had heard about it and stopped harassing Sari.
Sari the Revenger.
Oh my gosh. Edit. I'll have to look for a photo of Sari. Yeah,
Unfortunately, she went over the Rainbow Bridge about 5 years ago.
Yeah. I mean, I don't doubt that you had a dog at some point, and I don't, certain things like that, but there is no picture, and you promised a picture 25 days ago. Prove you had a dog. Prove that you had a dog to us. Otherwise, I think you're just a crisis actor.
I'm gonna go into weird conspiracy mode here, but okay. Rainbow Bridge is a reference most commonly to the Norse mythology Rainbow Bridge.
Yeah.
And this does have to do with a altercation that seems to have some race-based hate in it.
Oh.
So this could be a white supremacist getting out their weird revenge fantasy porn
Abysmii, are you saying that the story is a dog whistle?
It's possible. It's very weird that you would say my dog went over the Rainbow Bridge. It's not impossible. Those two things together is a red flag for me, I guess. I don't know.
Here's why that's not true, though. It's a mixed breed. It would be a full-blooded German Shepherd if it was.
Oh, yeah.
So there you go.
Good point.
All right. Well,
let's finish this on. This last one better be fun to read.
I think it's gonna be fun. This is the one I actually haven't looked at all, other than just a very, very, very slight skimming.
Okay.
So yeah, this is by Space General America. Shit-eating kid and his megalodon mother at a rest stop playground. One of my favorite independent films. I don't know.
Man, I love Megalodon Mother at the Rest Stop. That album by Shit-Eating Kids.
This summer, Megalodon Mother.
Coming to the Sci-Fi Channel.
Right.
This happened to my family while I was at college, so I don't have all the details. However, since I told them about this subreddit and learned about this tale of shit eater and their shark mother,
Shark mom and shit eater.
I knew I had to post it here. By the way, shit eater and shark mother are how my sister told me this story referred to them. Okay.
All right.
My family were at a restaurant near Banbridge. Inside was a playground. I've been at these restaurants before, and they are wonderful places. Very pleasant. Just not this time.
Bum bum bum.
So Banbridge is in Ireland.
Oh shit. Where are all the American stories? I guess that was the last one with the the slightly racist undertones.
In a sunny southern state. Yeah.
South of France. No, wait, that wouldn't be a state. Never mind.
That would be the water. Just not this time. While my sister and brothers are at a playground, and one of them was on the climbing equipment. My sister was looking away from him when suddenly she hears a loud slap, and my brother, who we will call D, crying. She turns around to see him on the ground, crying with a red mark on his face. Enter shit-eating grin kid.
Shit-eating grin kid wants to battle.
A challenger has joined the ring. About 4 years older than D, currently climbing up the play structure above my brother.
Why are we using the pseudonym D for your brother?
Could you say brother?
It's my druther. All right.
My druther and me.
Yeah.
No, there's no reason not to just call them like Danny Boy.
Right. See, they're following. They're following the trope of using a single letter or two letters to, stand in for a name. E-M, E-B, D.
Like it's like we're talking about Nevada Ton or something. Like there's no need to protect this person's identity.
Right.
Shit eater, the pipes are calling. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, shit eater gets his real name used. My sister goes to ask what happened, and all three of my brothers say shit eater slapped D on the face. So she confronts the brat.
I've slapped D on some shit eater's face before, let me tell you that.
God damn it.
Wait, what?
Sis, excuse me, did you hit my brother? Okay, DP, now this is up to you.
Oh, okay, yeah, all right. That's how we're doing this. Shit eater, 'cause he's a little faggot who doesn't belong on the playground.
It actually says jerk in this story. I don't know why you felt the need to ad lib, but okay.
Oh, my sister was taken aback. Sis, could you not use that kind of language? Also, you cannot hit my brother.
That's the order of operation. That tells you everything about the mindset of the people on this subreddit. Could you not use that offensive language? Also, could you not physically assault people?
My sister was... Okay.
Like, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words, those are really nasty.
Mm-hmm. My sister, who was 4 years old, with blue hair and thick-rimmed glasses. Conversation goes on like that, and then we come to this point. Now, my sister tends to use a lot of hand gestures and raise her voice a little when she gets agitated, which seems to have given Shark the wrong idea. My sister never intended to hit him, though. Doesn't make what follows any better, though.
I love how we're getting this secondhand from another person, and it's like the sister's like trying to justify it, and it's like she was like getting all up in this other person's face and like swinging their hands around, being intimidating and stuff, and it's like she never meant anything, but they're trying to downplay. Oh my god!
Of course not.
Sis, to shit eater, is this where we are?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Just to be clear that she's talking to the shit eater, not someone else.
This is where urine drinker came into the picture. No, I just want to apologize to my brother. I just want you to apologize to my brother. He's a 6-year-old. D isn't gay, and
D isn't gay.
He's not gay.
Listen,
D isn't gay.
Yeah,
you shouldn't have hit him if you think he's gay. You shouldn't have hit him for no reason.
You should not have hit him for no reason, but you should hit him for a reason.
Right. Now, everybody out there, we want to tell you decisively, you heard it here first, D is not gay. Mm-hmm. So if you enjoy the D, it's not gay. Come on. Just enjoy your life. Don't let anybody judge you.
Shit eater. Your mom is raising your brother to be gay.
Oh Oh, Ireland, never change.
Oh, you're the mum. Shouldn't it be mum, honestly?
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Abysmii?
At this point comes the Megalodon herself, entitled Mother. I'll just call her Megalodon from here on out.
You already were.
Right?
This is significantly better than calling it EM, though.
Yeah. She comes over with this deranged look in her eyes and cuts in with the following. Megalodon, are you trying to hit my son? Still eating shit and grinning. I'm guessing the son was.
He's literally just got a turd in his hand and he's just nomming on it.
The biggest smile.
Sis, taken aback. Your son hit my brother.
Megalodon. It could actually be EM for entitled Megalodon. Megalodon then lost it right here and cut loose. Her son would never do such a thing. He's such an angel. You guessed it, still eating shit. My sis was in the wrong here for trying to hit him. How dare my sis try and accuse her darling shit-eater of this? I think this person just likes typing shit-eater.
Mm-hmm.
My sis has anxiety, and purple hair and thick glasses, so she doesn't like being yelled at, or yelled out, I'm sorry. DP, have you ever yelled a girl out?
You did.
Every Friday night. What's up?
just put both hands in, spread, and start yelling in there.
Yeah. Really rattle those pipes.
There? I have to know.
Here's Johnny. Naturally, she zoned out, only able to understand someone was yelling at her. Every time she tried to say something, Megalodon cut her off. How rude. She was on the verge of crying, while Megalodon demands she apologize for hitting her son, which never happened. Oh, man.
Here's a good bit. If you don't like confrontation, don't engage in confrontation.
Yeah.
Whatever. Fuck it. We're trying to think about this logically. This didn't happen, so it started out like, oh man, someone's being rude at a guitar center. Okay,
Sure.
and then it slowly deteriorated. Then we have someone working at a amusement park, and it starts out believable. These last three just start out completely not giving up any pretense of realism.
So can I say that I believe personally that the format these stories are posted under on these subreddits like Entitled Parents and other things like Pro Revenge or whatever else, they enable people to be lazier with their stories than people who are purposefully writing fiction.
Yeah.
Who sit there and have to try to think of why something happened or try to lampshade problems. Instead, it's just here's all this stuff, believe it.
It's not as bad. I don't want people to get confused. It's not as bad as this, but it is the difference between someone doing cold reading, that is doing it to fool people into thinking that they're talking to the dead, versus the person who was like, I'm a mind-reading magician, mentalist guy. When you're doing that, you're telling people hey, it's a show, look at this cool ability I have.
Right.
This is the cold reading equivalent where it's look at this realistic story I'm writing, but then they suck at it. And because people get so outraged and have these emotional reactions, they miss that the story doesn't make any sense.
The spirit of your dead grandfather is telling me that you're getting married soon to a woman with an RJXPS name, yes?
I'm getting an EM. Oh, entitled mother? Yes.
I'm seeing someone eating shit.
Where are we?
Then one of my other brothers,
who will call R, cuts himself in with this. R, I saw your kid hit my brother. So you leave my sister alone, you fat ass. Ooh. Oh, now we're body shaming.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, we're already calling her a megalodon.
Well, that's creative. Calling someone fat is boring. If you're going to call someone fat in a creative, interesting way, then I'm on board. I'm not
Fuck
okay.
you prehistoric animal.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, I was. You know what? This whole time I wasn't thinking of the megalodon. I've been thinking of the Megazord.
Oh, well, that makes sense. Yeah.
No, it doesn't. But all right.
What if there was a megalodon Megazord? Wouldn't that be cool?
Well, what if I was just imagining the kid gets punched by the relative from this story actually did punch him, and then the little kid takes out the little flute that the Green Ranger had and goes doo-doo-doo, and then the Megazord shows up.
Yes.
Can we finish this?
Entitled Megazord. Okay.
Yeah.
The Meg didn't like that at all. She started screaming at them, saying that they were horrible little kids. My brother, E, isn't present. My sister thought he jumped ship, but no. He went to get Mom.
So we're not even saying I have another brother I'll call E. It's just R,
Yeah.
E, and D.
So my mother comes along and she's got the look. Looks capitalized. This is the kind of look reserved for someone about to Hulk out and wreck New York City. Oh, maybe. It's the kind that she gives her kids and to make us shit ourselves. Mom talking very sternly. Excuse me, why are you yelling at my kids? Megalodon tried to paint it as sis trying to hit her shit eater and that R had used vulgar language. My sis had covered her ears, so couldn't make out everything, but she did hear this.
Mom, your son hit my 6-year-old. Megalodon, my little angel would never do that. Mom, explain the mark on my son's face. Megalodon, well, maybe your son did something to deserve it. Mom, you're trying to justify your son hitting my 6-year-old and are screaming at my kids for trying to get him to apologize. If you don't back off from my kids, I will call the police for harassment.
Well, you can be arrested for harassment much easier in the UK. But I will say, I like your interpretation of the mom as being Solid Snake.
Yeah. Well, I was going for something, something stern, because, I mean, if we're going to muscle shame her by calling her the Hulk, then all right.
Oh my God. I need to read this part. My sister said the look on Megalodon's face was like when Peridot called Yellow Diamond a clown.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Do we need to finish this?
Not really. I'm kind of done.
I think that finishes it.
Hey, what are you talking about? Come on, Steven Universe. A totally valid reference to make in the story.
That was a fun experiment. Let's never do this again.
Can I just... I haven't read this before, but I just want to read some part of the ending here.
Okay.
D is using the slide, having a great time, when Shit Eater shows up. Shit Eater, you can't use this slide unless you become my slave. D, what? D says what? Shit Eater, if anyone goes on this play structure, they have to become a slave and do what I say.
That's how children talk. Come on, let's play structure.
Oh, God. So, do we feel like we've had a cathartic experience at least?
No.
No?
This isn't cathartic. This is angering.
These stories are the least realistic stories that we have read on a podcast about fiction.
Yes.
I'm not saying you're a gullible idiot if you believe these stories. Yes, I am. Yes,
yeah.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't think people believe this. I think this was revenge porn for people.
Revenge porn for vengeful people?
Well, again, it gets into the let's not meet problem of, like, is this real or not? I mean, I guess in these cases, we're not talking about, potentially serious things like murder and rape and that kind of thing, as far as I know. But it's the same thing of, like, is this real or is it not? And then don't criticize it, If it's fake, report it, and then we won't do anything about it. Like, it's dumb.
The problem I see with something like this is it would be nice to read people's real accounts, and they don't have to be entertaining and they don't have to be thrilling. I just would maybe be interested in spending, like an hour, one night, one time in my life, reading people's actual stories about things that really happened and thinking, that's interesting. But you can't do that because you're just going to get a bunch of Steven Universe fanfiction. I don't know.
Oh boy.
Well, have either of you guys had a problem with an entitled parent in real life?
If I have, I don't remember it.
I have, and I'm not
sure
sharing.
I'll tell you what.
enough.
I'll share one of mine just to cap it off with a real story, and it'll be brief.
Okay.
Okay. Went to a kid's birthday party when I was in elementary school. Kid's name was Eric. That was his real name.
E.
E. We'll call him EE for entitled Eric.
Mhm.
His last name was Cumming. So, birthday party for this kid. They bring out the piñata for his party.
It's a giant E.
Yeah, the giant E. It's shaped like an E. But yeah, so they bring out the piñata tied to the rafters in the basement where the party was, and who gets the first try, the first swing out of everybody, of course, is the birthday boy, Eric. Now, you wouldn't disagree with that. You'd be like,
No.
that's reasonable. So Eric takes a swing. He's blindfolded. He hits the piñata, or he misses the piñata. I don't remember. Doesn't break either way. But then the parents, both parents, mom and dad, come over and put their hands on his shoulders and say, he gets to go again. So he puts the blindfold back on, swings again, doesn't break it, and gets to just keep going until he breaks it.
Wow.
Because it's his birthday party and his piñata, and while it's not a big deal in the long run, as a kid, boy howdy, is that that's something that makes you want to go like anarchist and join, be like protesting in the streets, because it was like, that's not fair! Oh my God!
That's really weird, because every birthday party I've been to as a kid that had the piñata was the birthday kid gets to break it, and everyone else gets the candy when it falls
Really?
out. There's no taking turns hitting it, because that's just kind of complicated for the adults. Like, all right, one swing. All right, stop. Give me the stuff. All right, next kid come up. All right, turn you around. Now get a swing. All right, stop. It's just, you're not going to do that.
There are different social mores, and I've definitely been to both kinds of parties. But there should be an explanation of you need to lay the ground rules for what kind of piñata party we're having. Are we having, you know what it is? I think if it's a family of Latin American heritage, you're more likely to do things the traditional way. And if it's some white kid, then probably not.
If it's some white kid, you're probably not going to accurately follow the tradition of the culturally appropriated party game. But I will say that it
they're
wasn't
culturally appropriating from us by making all those goddamn SpongeBob piñatas.
very true. But I will add on that after he missed the first time, he did start crying, so that that made me think it was not supposed to be just his turn.
This has been the Fear Fiction Podcast. Your hosts are Abysmii, Dead Palette, and Slimebeast. Music by Abysmii. Art by C.F. Comer. Voiceover by Atticus Jackson. Edited by Elias the Intern. Subscribe to Fearfic on YouTube to stay up to date on new episodes.
Hey y'all, it's your old pal Bubba Shit. Well, you see, that's what I'm here to talk to y'all about now. This site y'all are using, the YouTubes.com, they got some new stricter rules for these creators, you see. If you get 3 strikes on your channel bites the big loaf, if you know what I mean. So, for that reason, I can no longer say my own name. Apparently people find it offensive. Now, from now on, I'll be using my mama's maiden name. So come on down to Bubba Fuck's Family Slophouse. And what? Well, this young boy here, Elias, he's telling me that name ain't no good either, huh? Well, hot damn. These California liberals got skin thinner than in the middle of a group of. All right. Well, how about this? Bubba. No. But that's my great grandpappy's name. Now he served in the war. Never mind which side. I still can't use it. But I mean, they call each other that. No? All right. I'm getting all these hand signals from the boy. Looks like he's about to bust a mucus plug. Good Lord. All right. Well, I tell you what. I'm gonna think on this for a while and we'll see what I can come up with. Okay? In the meantime, just come on down to just Bubba's Family Slop House, alright? Just Bubba. No last name. Right between Harry Cox Barbershop and Fu King Ho's Asian Express. Right off Route 69. I'll see you there. Hashtag save Bubba's shit.
Are we alternating back and forth, or
Sure. Yeah. If someone else has one, go for it.
DP? Do you have another one?
I'm good. You plug it.
I'll do a plug quickly. Bees, stop killing them. That's my plug.
You know, that's a good plug.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If
I'll be
you
right
have a
back.
backyard,
Yeah.
they sell kits to start and house beehives to attract them. Like you get a queen or something, I think. That helps a lot, believe it or not, just protecting the hives. So yeah, no, you got a backyard, fucking get some.
You still talking about bees? I got up and came back. What the fuck?
So
Fuck
what we could
bees.
do,
Kill them all. That's what I say.
support the bees, kill the stink bugs.
Mm-hmm.
As everyone knows, I'm highly racist against stink bugs. Can't stand them.
Speciest.
Yes. See, that's the thing, is there's all of this talk about building a wall. Nah, fuck that. Build a dome to keep out the stink bugs.
Build a giant shoe and kill all the stink bugs.
Yes.
When you build a shoe to kill the stink bugs, only stink bugs will have shoes. Keep that in mind.
And they have a lot of appendages, so it's a lot of shoes.
Yeah.